Hello everybody, welcome to Legacies of Caine. We are just a smidge late, just a smidge, small bit, tiniest. Unfortunately Jess couldn't join, so we had to wait for Carpe and take care of some things and, got some distractions and, well, we're here now. So welcome. This is a Vampire the Masquerade campaign, if you're unaware or new to us, that we've been playing for a number of weeks here, and, the group here has found themselves in London. In London, their big goal is to meet with an elder and effectively get some information from him, a mission from their prince. But the problem is, in order to get everything set up with this elder, they had to get some favors from some local people. And a couple of those local people have called in some favors that have put them into a very dangerous situation. The goal is to break into a Tremere chantry and steal a staff. So, how are everybody feeling? Nathan, how are you feeling about this entire endeavor that you're about to go on?
Oh, I think we can accomplish something.
Yeah, that seems like an accurate statement.
I'm trying to figure out how to decide whether to help the Anarchs or not, because they want us to acquire this female ghoul, and I'm not sure I want to help them that much, especially since, we'll be there potentially doing something bad, and then also potentially doing something else bad, and the less bad stuff I'm associated with, the better, I've found.
Okay.
So we've got to steal this staff for the gargoyles, and that's the main thrust. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm just trying to figure out if there's any way we can kind of get out of stealing this ghoul for them. I mean, she's already dead, so, killing her...
Technically, ghouls are in between life and death, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not saying I want to, kill her, just if she somehow wound up a casualty, I'd be very much okay with that.
Samuel, how about you?
So most of what Samuel's thinking about right now is how we're going to get this done. And when it gets done, I'm going to have some fancy new contacts.
Positive thinking.
People are going to like me.
Erik, how about you?
Something's going on?
What's today again?
I cannot remember what day it was. Was it Tuesday?
Just name a day.
Monday. It's Monday. I don't know. It was close enough to Monday that now it can be Monday, so we're gonna go along with that. It was Monday adjacent. All right, so you've just got your mission from the gargoyle, and he leaves. Where do you go from here? As you're all standing around, in I'm not sure whose bedroom it is, but you're inside someone's bedroom, just all standing around.
It was probably mine, since Candy was the one who informed us that there was something creepy at the window.
That's true.
So I will usher everyone out of my bedroom.
What? Hold on. Oh, okay.
Back downstairs, I guess. And I'll ask Candy to go up and spray the Febreze and the Glade and everything.
Okay, what was that big thing? Was that a cosplayer?
Yep. Very dedicated.
Wow.
Since he was dressed up as something flying, he wanted to make sure that his greeting. Yeah. Spray that Glade, please.
Do you cosplay? I do sometimes too, but only for naughty circumstances.
I show her my fangs, always.
Oh, we can have some fun times together. There's this convention in town.
Really? Please tell me more.
It's next week. I wasn't going to go, but I mean, if you want to dress up and I want to dress up, we can have a fun time. And I do like dressing up for times other than fun times. I don't get
I
an
mean,
excuse to.
I mean, this could be all sorts of different kinds of fun times.
Well, you know, my apologies. I forgot what we were calling the John that she had.
So
Not the John, the pimp. I'm sorry, the pimp.
So his name is,
Uh-huh.
I think it was Yeezy number 4
Oh, that's right.
$HO.
Yes.
But I believe she called him Frank.
That's right. Okay. I was like, I looked at my notes and I'm like, what the hell did I call him?
Strangely enough, I did not write that down.
Impressive.
Curses.
Anyway, Frank doesn't let me go out, you know. He's always got me working. But now that I'm with you...
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what money does.
I'll go spray you the stuff. You really got to get
Thank
your
you
friend to
kindly.
take a bath.
I've tried.
It doesn't work.
All right, Candy will wander upstairs.
Thank God. She is fun, though. And tasty. Anyway.
How many diseases do you carry?
I pat down my pockets. Not many.
Okay.
So, to a different stick and girl problem.
What
Just-
abilities can I use on you?
There was already stuff in the works, remember?
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm. There were already
So, what are your
fun
thoughts?
things in the works.
Capture Ghoul, bring her back to the Anarchs. Don't capture Ghoul. Deal with consequences from Anarchs.
I think that having the Anarchs like us would work in our benefit.
Alright.
Means more
Having-
information.
Having them hate us because she had an accident probably wouldn't work in our favor.
Well, I'm not totally against that
But they
idea
wouldn't
either.
hate us if there was an accident.
They wouldn't necessarily know. If they had sources paying attention to that and looking out for that, maybe, but
Even so, you think they'll believe us?
depends who talks to them.
Will they have a choice? I mean, if they're not literally there, and even honestly if they are, and something happens beyond their knowledge of our control,
It would be good if
You
the
guys remember our first job together, right? The discussing with the gang. Was that within our control?
that's fair.
And did we still get in a lot of fucking trouble for it? Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the best course of action. I think that it is a potential course of action.
so honestly, I'm trying to manage how much the Tremere are going to try and take these things that we're going to take from them out of our hides. That is more what I'm worried about
We might want to
than the
find
Anarchs
out.
being disappointed that we couldn't get them the ghoul.
We might want to find out how important this ghoul is to the Tremere first.
That might be very useful.
How we go about doing that, I can't say for sure.
The Tremere don't despise. The Tremere are part of the Camarilla, so they don't absolutely despise the other members of the Ventru
They
more
wouldn't-
than they despise the Sabbat. So much? Is that more or less correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you theoretically would be fine trying to arrange a meeting with them, definitely.
Mm-hmm. They probably wouldn't particularly like any of us, but they also wouldn't particularly hate any of us, aside from potential insanity and smell.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Or are there any clan like rivalries?
There's always
I'm
clan
not as familiar
rivalries.
with-
There's never
I mean,
not.
like specifically between
Oh God.
them and
Tremere? I don't think so.
like it's more a matter of us not wanting them to eat us, right? And not liking the fact that they weren't, or the theory is they weren't created the same way as the rest of us.
Sorry, thought I heard that. Cat trying to throw up for a second. What are you doing? Oh, it's something outside. I'm like wondering for it.
I'm just trying to see if I would be able to like get a very general introduction to them where I could like go in and ask questions about their place without actually like
the one that they
doing
they
anything.
tolerate the most out of all of you are the Nosferatu.
Okay.
Because they feel like they can be, because they feel like they've been rebucked by the system. They're a little more trustworthy as allies if you can get them wisdom, you know. Kind of like if you throw them a hand, you know, they might be willing to.
And then there's the Malkavians who they're like, once we can figure out how to use all of your shit without the insanity, we won't need you anymore.
Yeah. And the Venture are like, you got power now, but like all people in power eventually fall to it because they, you know...
They see you more as a Julius Caesar. Yeah, go ahead and rule for now, but we're gonna stab you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not, as far as we know, specifically interested in stabbing me now.
No,
Not right now.
Not right now.
Right. Okay. So we could perhaps go through channels to go in and just learn about their whatever chancery.
Mm-hmm.
What channels?
Well, we know our prince. She might be able to give us a suggestion to learn more about the Tremere of London so that she can work more closely with the Tremere of New York. Or we could talk to the prince here and see if he has any interests in that area.
It could be worth doing, but I think we should try to avoid
More debt.
being attached to this as well. Yeah, debt probably not a great idea, but
I was more thinking of like an early run where we go in and like learn about it, and then figure out what to do after that. Because that way we can be in there. We might be able to figure out why Christine is so important, or why the Anarchs want her, and also how willing she would be to go. And also, like, generally, like, where the staff is and all that kind of stuff. Like in those heist movies where the first trip they take in the casino is just to play and reduce suspicions about themselves because, I mean, they've already been there, nothing happened the first time, etc.
Right. Well, if you like, you could, you may as well call the prince and talk to her about it now. Unless anyone else is opposed to that.
Any
Which
other
prince
suggestions?
Are you going to contact? Are you going to contact your own prince, or are you going to try to contact the prince of the city here?
Presumably ours.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because she already has kind of... She probably doesn't care what we're doing so much, as long as it results in what she wants. Whereas the Prince of London doesn't care about what we're trying to accomplish, and would not be interested in helping us without doing something else, And also, her help would be negligible as we basically just make something up. And explain to her that this is ideally to help get us the contact with this guy. So essentially she's risking little and gets something out of it, whereas if we talk to the prince, we will again have to offer a service to get a service, basically. Or accomplish some other mission in addition to the 2 that we've already got on our plate. Is my thinking.
I would be open to consulting the prince about this.
Okay. Erik, any thoughts?
Why not? Asking our own prince is better than asking any other.
Excellent. I'll call up Helena.
All right. Okay, you call up Helena. I guess you...
Or her office, I would imagine.
You probably would want to wait a little while still, because weren't we like middle of the night, and it's still probably very early evening for her?
Early evening's good, right?
Probably don't
She's
want to call...
East Coast, so it's probably like 5-hour difference, so she would not be quite awake.
She might be maybe just waking up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So shall we brainstorm ways we might be able to get a large wooden staff out of a house without being noticed? Or without
shove it up your ass.
No, my ass is not that big.
Could bring candy.
It's unfortunate.
Unfortunately, hers is not either. I was thinking about that, though. I was also thinking about maybe finding a way to distract them with some thing with her pimp and his people, and having them like hear through the grapevine, which I imagine you, Samuel, might be able to do better than I, that they're planning a new brothel or something in his area. I don't know. Basically planning on taking over his territory so that he would have to go and talk to them about it to provide that sort of distraction without us being particularly involved.
I could probably have someone contact him. Would I need to do anything to, like, reach out to someone and set that up?
Probably not.
Like, just pull some strings?
Yeah.
I don't gotta roll anything or anything like that. I'm just, making some moves on my phone.
I don't think we should do that yet. I think we should
okay.
do that after we've settled that this is the plan.
I'm okay with that. I can put that in motion whenever.
Cool. So that's a thought.
I like to think I've gotten pretty adept at chucking things that we need out of windows and then falling with them.
That's true. That's also an incredibly obvious exit, I would imagine. So as soon as you're noticed by any person that remains alive or security cameras, then that will connect us directly to the theft of the staff, which I would prefer to avoid if possible.
Yeah, that's probably a, last resort.
Yeah. Let's see. What else might we bring with to disguise the theft of such a staff?
Does anyone know any illusion-based things?
Dawn
I do not.
does.
I believe Dawn does, but I am not aware of the extent of her facility with deception. Can we ask her character sheet?
She has some abilities. She doesn't know if she has enough that would be helpful in this case. Very limited. She can create illusion over an area, basically. Pretty much.
Okay, so she would be able to make them think that the staff was still there as long as no one tried to touch it.
For a period of time.
For a period of time.
I
Which,
can look it
as
up
long as
because
there's a
she
sufficient...
She's chemistry 1, so not a lot of it.
That's fair. So basically, as long as there's a distraction going, as long as there's no attention brought to the area of the staff, then it might be thought that it had escaped some other way.
Would this power work through walls at all, or anything like that?
She could create a minor static image that confounds one sense. So it would have to be visual.
Sight.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She can create about...
That's all we need.
Game terms. She can create about 20 cubic feet. It lasts until you leave the vicinity. Or until someone sees through it.
Okay.
And she uses willpower to create her illusions.
Okay.
So that is an option.
Okay.
But if there's a better one that we could potentially do, that would be nice too. Because I don't know if they would be able to see through it or not. We don't know how keen they may be.
Right. At that point, we would mostly be counting on the distraction for people not to be looking specifically in the direction of the staff, so that it would appear to be there from a quick visual check. Because as far as they are aware, as far as I am aware that they are aware, the staff is not specifically a target for other vampires.
Fair enough.
So I could perhaps hire some additional thug power, so that there are more people on the scene, creating this distraction, which means more people running around, in addition to whatever we can get Frank to throw at it. And all of these people could be instructed to, if they happen to notice that the staff is unwatched at any given time, grab it and take off.
We could also have some of those other people that you hire on act suspicious purposefully if it is noticed, to draw that suspicion. Then when they are approached about it, they are found to be not the culprit.
That's true.
I mean, if you want to hire humans and things like that, this is obviously the most brash and insane option, but have them just blow open the side of the building during the day, grab the staff while they can't get them.
Well, that's what the ghouls are for, I would imagine. And also that means that we would not be able to do any support. I think that's a good idea as a Plan Omega.
It'd be funny.
I tend to agree. Although, again, it would be worth going in there to see what else we might have them grab, so that it is not apparent that the staff is in fact the target of the smash and grab, as it were.
Oh, of course. You tell them there's a lot of crap in there. As long as you get this, you can have anything else.
Yep. I've read many books where that is, in fact, an excellent tactic for the villains. Tends to work fairly well as long as there's not a heroic party on scene.
Hopefully there won't be.
I'm hoping.
I'm sure they'll have enough guns and weapons to drop a ghoul.
A ghoul, probably. Multiple ghouls, not sure.
It
Again.
might be worth framing the girl, taking the girl out, and making it look like she stole the staff.
Ooh.
The difficulty of that is accomplishing it.
That is true,
Indeed.
but it would
keep
keep us in the clear.
Mm-hmm.
The Anarchs would have to deal with it. and we still did what the Anarchs wanted.
I like that. I like that a lot. So, what, in character or out, what are general abilities of ghouls? Because I am not familiar with ghouls in this
Ghouls
setting.
traditionally get access to the physical disciplines, so they tend to be more combat-based. Some ghouls can learn disciplines of the clan which sired them, but it's a little more difficult traditionally, not impossible. But more lines they stick to things like potence, celerity, fortitude.
Okay.
Other than that, they have the stats of a normal person most of the time. It also depends on how old the ghoul is. The older the ghoul, the more experienced, just similar to a vampire too.
Sure. What distinguishes a ghoul from a vampire that just has those?
Ghouls still technically alive. Ghouls live as long as they get vampire blood regularly. If they stop getting vampire blood, they quickly age and die.
Okay.
So, I mean, as long as they are very old, you know, if you are a 200-year-old ghoul, you can last another 200 years or even more as long as you keep getting blood.
Okay.
And again, traditionally ghouls will learn just the simple powers. You know, potence is a big one. Supernatural strength, potence and fortitude. Celerity is the third on the list of those, and then a few get that ability to learn. You know,
especially the older ones.
Yes. You know,
okay.
It also depends on sometimes the clan too for the ghoul, and if that ghoul is dedicated to that clan, because though you're created by a clan, which oftentimes will imprint on you to a degree, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to stick with them. There are plenty of ghouls that are more free agents, but then again, there are a lot of them that are dedicated too.
Hey, you guys want a Reagan Olympics? It's probably been done. Who are we kidding?
All right. So I'm trying to think of how to frame a ghoul for stealing the staff. Aside from the most simplest expedient of tearing some of her clothing off and planting it at the scene, which might be difficult to do without her notice.
We could try to plant. So, if a ghoul belongs, do they they always dedicated unless another vampire basically takes charge? Is that how does that work exactly?
The hierarchy of kind of things.
Do they
are they? Is it more of a blood bond, or is it more of a they've decided they're dedicated to this clan?
Most of the time, a ghoul that dedicates them to some people is because they want to become a vampire. Because they still are not as powerful as a vampire would be, in a way.
So it's not that so they could betray someone of their own free will.
They could, if the only reason that one would assume a ghoul would betray you is if someone offered them
a better deal.
Well, the embrace, for one thing, Mm-hmm. They're hey, we'll make you a vampire, especially because, let's say, if you did blame the Anarchs, there aren't many of them, but there are Tremere that work along with the Anarchs. So if this girl would want to become a Tremere, or let's say, for example, and that's why she's been with them, then they're hey, one of my fellows here will embrace you if you come and help us or something, or do something for us. There could be deals that are arranged, but it's really hard to say, because again, the Tremere are very secular when it comes to their group, so very few of them tend to break off. Again, there are some that have joined the Sabbat, some that have joined the Anarchs. Just in comparison to other clans, not nearly as many.
If the staff is in a case, we could take some of her blood and smash the glass.
again, the taking of her blood would be, I would imagine, fairly obvious to her, which would more or less remove us from being immune to the suspicion.
What about a burner phone that has text that implies some sort of betrayal on it?
That could work.
We could probably get our hands on something.
That could work. Especially if it's like crushed to indicate that it was destroyed, but just not quite actually destroyed.
Enough to have access to certain texts.
I like that idea also. Excellent.
All right, I'll have to try and make it so the texts aren't instant. So maybe we have some texts sent today to this burner phone, or tomorrow, or something like that. We wait a couple days.
Excellent. Sounds good. How long will it take you to get into the her, to essentially have it registered to her?
How long would that take me?
So you're trying to register a burner phone to another person, basically?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a burner phone, so it's kind of like hard to actually like register it to a person necessarily.
But I mean, like, register that it was purchased by a person. Because, like, we could just have Dawn go to a store and buy a burner phone.
This is true.
The trick is making it look like it was Christine that bought the phone.
You would have to
know what Christine looks like.
Know what she looks like. Create some kind of trick.
I just mean have records that reflect that she purchased it. So, like, it goes on her credit card or something like that.
You would have to look into that kind of thing to figure it out, though.
Can I search the Nosferatu deep web and find her credit card information?
That sort of thing probably wouldn't be easily found.
Yeah, I know.
I would say getting people's, because the question
without
is,
her credit card.
You don't even know if she has credit cards anymore.
That's true.
Oh, that's fair.
If she's an old enough ghoul, which you're unsure of, she could just be beyond the age where she would have one. Or if she has a credit card, it might be under like a false identity, just like many vampires would have it, you know?
I think I do know what she looks like, though, right? They gave me like an idea, right?
They gave you a picture.
Yeah.
So you guys have a picture.
Try to do something with that.
Yeah. I guess find out what information you can about her.
There might be information on the Nosferatu, the ShrekNet. There could be. Because
could I
basically you could try like the vampiric version of like Google searching deeply, you know, like going
how do I do that?
Computer's intelligence, I'll say.
Let's go.
It's computer.
It's probably a pretty difficult one.
Just
what's the difficulty?
For an individual, especially a ghoul, I would
89.
say 8. We'll say 8.
8?
Yeah. Okay, you did get 2 successes. So, you can find a couple things out about Christine. She's been with the Chantry for 100 years. So she is. You're not sure how long before then. She traveled here from Central Europe. You're not exactly sure with the person who created her, as far as you know, but at least a Tremere that came and stayed in the area. The Tremere moved on to America, the individual, but she stayed behind here in the Chantry in London. So she's been down for quite a while. It seems as though she works in one of the major libraries, as basically a librarian. That's the easiest way to describe it. Ghoul librarian, because you never know.
Well, books hold a lot of interesting information.
And
good to have them protected.
She could basically do research during the day for someone, if they requested it. There is a use to it. even though many Tremere probably would want to research on their own. She does occasionally get out of the Chantry, but she's not seen very often outside of it. Most of the time it seems to be either on requests from members of the Chantry itself, or you're unsure. The information doesn't state what else she would do for it. It seems that those most of the time, but there are other times that she goes out with unknown purpose.
See if she has a profile on Ghoul Tinder.
Is she on Ghoul Tinder?
The answer is no.
Right?
Damn it. What are you talking about? You can't search Tinder.
Dude, you can if you're a ghoul. You're a Nosferatu, alright?
You just access their database of users. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he could figure it out.
I would imagine that Ghoul Tinder would be better protected. Oh well.
It's run by a Nosferatu that likes to sell the information that it gets.
That's fair. Alright, so she's a librarian. So she's probably really kinky.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there you go, guys. I gave you candy.
What?
Let's go.
You can see Candy's character sheet now.
Oh no.
I built Candy.
Oh, all I see is bio and info.
Yeah, I can't see her stats.
Oh, you can't see your stats? Okay.
Nah, you didn't give us that permission.
Just
Disappointed
a
there's no
completely
picture.
blank bio and info.
You
Oh,
also
you
didn't.
remembered how to spell it, though.
I did remember how to spell it. I had to look it up, though, technically.
Kanndi.
Oh,
Nice.
try now. Try it again. Let me do...
Nope. Still just bio and info.
Oof.
It should be on all players' journals. Save changes.
Yep. You got to give us control of her before we can see her stats.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Yeah, Tantus.
There you go.
I can control Candy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! I picked me a 10. Well, a 5 at least.
she's
you-
very sexy.
Did you give her vampire stats?
she's
I mean, if she
This-
comes back with us,
No, besides discipline, she's a vampire.
except she's dumb.
I don't know. She's got 2 in academics. That's pretty impressive.
Uh-huh.
And a 1 in
She has
computer. That
1
makes
in
sense.
intelligence.
2 in medicine.
Uh-huh.
1 in science.
That's pretty good.
That makes sense. That's
She
probably
has-
for the drugs.
She has 2 in medicine, and we all know why.
Yes.
Ambidextrous, time sense. That's probably very efficient.
So
for her.
she's good with both hands. Okay.
Uh-huh. Useful knowledge,
Useful
lucky,
knowledge,
but she's
lucky.
soft-hearted, she's got a phobia of heights, and she's weak-willed.
That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Wow, she's got a lot of contacts and
Yeah.
allies.
Uh-huh. She knows people, but she's never gonna tell you that, because it's Candy.
That's okay. I am actually okay with that. Empathy, expression, larceny. Nice.
She actually fucking runs the streets.
Yeah, right. Frank isn't the pimp. She is.
Are you gonna make her a ghoul, or?
I mean, I might. Can I still eat from ghouls?
Yeah.
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 As long as I pay him to have sex with me. All right.
When do I get Wick's character sheet?
It's a rat. I guess I just assume he's got some like potence and like fortitude and stuff, and call it a day most
Hell
of the time.
I like the little things. Stamina 4.
Nice.
Perform for.
Performance 4. What's the specialization she's got there, Tantus?
I'm not saying. Your imagination.
She specializes in performing my imagination, I'll say.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right.
I swear.
Now we just got to get rid of a little of this conscience, and I'm good.
I was gonna gonna pull that out for now, because Candy can disappear for now. Anyway, all right. So, yes, you found some information about her. What's your plan to do with this information? I guess at this point in time.
So is this the library at the Chancery?
Yes.
Ooh.
The main library that they have there.
Actually, that might be a worthy reason to go visit there, is to do research on specifically like, I don't know, gargoyles or the anarchs, or actually, can you figure out what their library specializes in aside from Tremere magic?
Yeah. It probably has a lot of information about vampires, clans, information like that. Stuff that the Tremere would find interesting and useful. There's probably a level of censorship to it, though, because they kind of recreated their own history a lot of times.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could certainly be a good reason, or a...
They did quite literally slaughter off an entire another clan to create themselves.
Right.
Well, like 99% of them.
Sure.
So, yes.
So, as part of learning more about the Tremere from London and how they're different to or similar to the Tremere of New York, doing a bit of research in their library would make sense.
I mean, they're probably going to have an older library. It's London's a much older city than New York, kind of thing. That's the very reason behind it.
And being from New York, we don't need to do as much research on the Tremere of New York because our prince can just ask them, more or less.
More or less.
Less easy to do in London. So, good excuse for a visit. And conveniently puts us right in the area where we might meet Christine.
True.
That works out. Maybe we should schedule a visit to the library then. In the meantime, how should we handle... Should we just put the phone on her? What is our primary goal in this meeting with her?
So, I'm assuming we're going to plant the phone separately from her even knowing about it. Yeah. So she won't know what's going on. The Anarchs won't know what's going on. The Tremere won't know what's going on. When they try and figure out what's going on from her, she will very legitimately have no idea what's going on. When they approach the Anarchs about getting to her, they will also legitimately have no idea what's going on, except that they could then blame us for taking her. Except then they would have to admit that they asked us to get her from them.
It does put them in a tough spot.
Does put them in a tough spot. And helps protect our privacy. So we could just get a burner phone with cash, and then you can, like, backdate the records, potentially, or it can just be cash, and we'll just put incriminating stuff on there specifically about her. Like, we know you work in the library, or it's a good thing you work at the library, so you can have access to whatever.
Of course, yeah.
So we can do that kind of thing just by having a burner phone.
We should definitely get it sooner rather than later, so we can start putting these pieces together.
Yes. Erik, would you be able to pick up a burner phone while I call Helena?
Hand me the money and yes.
All right. Let's see. I don't know how much a burner phone is. Like $50, $100.
Depends if you want any minutes on it.
Doesn't need minutes. Needs the minimum amount of text messages.
Usually texting takes minutes. It's all right on the same thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
have you ever had one of those old phones? Like, have you always had a plan?
Yes.
It might be worth having two burner
Okay.
phones that we can send the text between.
Yes. Good thinking. So 2 burner phones. I honestly have no idea how much they are, but I have enough for them. How much are they?
Hand me 100. I'll get a couple of the kind of cheaper ones and some
Excellent.
minutes to put on each one. We'll
$100
text back and forth.
$100. Sounds great.
Off I go.
And burner phones are cheap. I was looking up the prices for a burner phone. You can get $5 a month. That's your unlimited texts.
Does that include
$5 a
purchasing the
month.
phone?
No, that's not just the phone purchase, but like $5 a month for unlimited calls, texts, and picture messages for 1 month. It's
Ooh.
not bad.
Wow.
That is pretty good. Anyway,
Okay.
so
You're gonna try to.
Eric's.
Are you gonna try to go like directly there? What are you trying to do? Like exactly?
I'm gonna call Helena and say, hey,
Yeah.
this is the situation.
Mm-hmm.
We're making progress towards actively, safely meeting with, or relatively safely meeting with Mr. Cromwell. We've got a couple of things that have been asked of us, and it would be incredibly helpful if you would request that we learn a little bit more about the Tremere of London, so that you can understand the Tremere of New York better. All we really want for this purpose, or all we want this for, is to gain access to the library of their chancery.
You're gonna get like probably not Helena, but like someone else that's working there who's been like, that's not gonna work. The Tremere wouldn't let you inside to learn about them. Jeez. I mean, if you want to just get in there, make like a friend with one of them or something. Ugh. Helena can't be bothered with this kind of problem that you guys got. Ugh. I can tell her that you're making progress. And that you're stupid.
Very much appreciated. What was your name?
You already know my name.
Do I know her name?
It's his
Or his name?
There's a certain person at the front desk who is very mean
Okay.
to you people.
All right. What's his name?
Someone else had named him and I can't remember it now.
I feel
Okay.
like this guy actively peruses the Nosferatu forums.
Probably. And makes fun of them. Because he's a jerk.
Making a note.
Uh-huh.
And then he cries when he sees our memes.
Mm-hmm. This can be Charles. Charles, the front desk guy. The front desk pyre.
I said, fuck it, we're having a short stream, I'm getting comfy as hell.
Sounds good.
You could be comfier, I'm just saying that.
Have you seen me?
Yes. Just, it's not gonna work
Okay.
very well, but oh.
Made a note. I'm going to kill him.
Fair enough.
Good luck.
Anyway, I mean, I guess I could throw in a call for you and have them contact you, but I'd come up with a better story. That's a freebie on me, just because you're an alright guy in comparison to your friends. When you're dead, I'm gonna laugh.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Bye.
back at you,
Click.
Charles.
He's already hung up.
Yep. Yeah, no. He's gonna die. All right. So, let's see. What would a good reason to want access to the library be?
I'm not there, so...
Where are you at when you're, like, made this call and stuff.
Still in the townhouse.
Okay. Wouldn't you go to the library to do research on stuff? Like, history or science or something? As Candy's getting something out of the fridge.
I thought that was Wick for some reason.
I've got her, they have
do
similar
sound similar.
accents. I have them both sound badly New Yorkish. Very badly New Yorkish. So apologize if you're from New York. I just, my New York accent is awful, but all my accents are awful, so.
At least you're man enough to admit it.
No, I know. They're awful.
Let's see. So history is out. What sort of science?
History isn't necessarily out, is it?
Probably not.
Could be looking for the
Oh.
general history of vampires.
Don't
Looking for more
vampires
information
tend
on
to be-
Caine.
don't vampires tend to be fairly protective of that sort of thing, though?
Information on Caine? Yeah.
Because like the Book of Nod was this really important thing that we got.
Yeah, an original copy of some pages. Yeah, it's different than a copy of a copy of a copy. There are copies of copies of copies out there. It's just that they're just that then. And also, officially, the Camarilla kind of just steers people away from that, and then the Sabbat officially oftentimes tries to eliminate a lot of that information, because the Sabbat's all about murdering off all the elders and vampire
Got it.
power and stuff like that.
Ooh, what's Cromwell's focus? Like, what does he study? What does he teach?
He doesn't teach, remember? He just he gives money.
Right.
Yes. But you know he's old and would know things, basically, is the kind of thing.
Oh, and he's an expert on the Book of Nod.
Yes. Because he probably lived some of it. He is a fourth generation. So...
All right.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then, yeah. Then that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Does that seem like something they might be willing to let us in to look at?
Like looking into information on Caine himself and maybe the original cities. You could probably excuse that, definitely. You'd have to convince them.
Okay.
Okay. Eric, you're fine with whatever you succeeded at whatever you're rolling willpower for.
Good.
Seemingly quite well, I may note, too.
Yeah. Nice. All right.
So did you get us in?
Oh.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know what it was for, but all he was supposed to be doing was buying 2 burner phones.
That willpower roll was to see if I was going to introduce immortals to the pointlessness of life.
Oh no.
I rolled well, so I didn't.
I mean, that wouldn't have been all that bad.
You say that,
Well, I mean,
but then it would spiral out of control into like this entire incident again. We remember the last time this was an incident.
Well, yes, I suppose that's true. If he had also gone insane, that would have been bad. I was merely saying that causing some mortals to commit suicide, not that bad.
I mean, I don't think any of you have that low of a humanity yet. Just say.
I'm not causing it. It's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
I take no responsibility for it.
I'm
I'm just not upset by it.
Yeah. It's like, this is not my fault. I'm just not going to do anything about it.
Right.
All right.
what's your humanity? It's
Uh,
got to be at like 4 or 5.
6. But my conscience is 2.
Yep, see.
Okay.
His humanity
Yeah.
comes more from his self-control rather than his conscience. So,
Yes.
a bit later in the day, though, you've got the burner phones. I assume then you got them. That was easy enough to do. To like have someone go and purchase them. I guess just Eric, you just purchased them somewhere.
I purchased them at separate locations.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
Excellent thinking, Erik.
Absolutely.
a couple hours after you had talked with Charles, you will get a call on your burner line, or your normal line, that you have there, Nathan.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hello. I was asked to give you a call. I heard tale that some folks with a little bit of influence wish to visit our chantry, and I was requested to contact you. Is there a place we can meet? More neutral ground? Would you mind heading to, let's say, let's see here. Give me a second here. I have to figure out where the Elysium is. I remembered it a minute ago, but Highgate Cemetery.
The cemetery. Yeah.
Highgate Cemetery. In a couple hours. 2 hours before dawn, perhaps.
Sounds good to me.
All right, then. Then we shall meet there. Discuss what
Indeed.
your business is with us.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you are?
They already hung up.
So impolite.
You did easily sense disdain for the entire concept of contacting you.
Still impolite.
All right.
Well,
What are you folks doing?
Erik, would you like to come with us, or do you have other business to which you would like to attend?
Candy,
Yeah.
come in here for a second.
Yeah. She's like eating something. I purchased that with my own money. Don't worry. I stocked your fridge for you.
What's her humanity or path rating?
8.
8?
8.
Wow, that's pretty good for someone in her line of work.
Yeah. She has no courage. She. Mm-hmm. Look,
All right.
she's a hooker with a heart of gold.
All right, I'm just gonna casually try something real quick. Don't worry, it won't have any big effect on her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm pretty much telling her that Nathan thinks that she's a horrible person who should go die, and I'm also raising her emotions for 1 turn.
oh,
What power
Is
did
that
you use on her?
It's passion. She has heightened emotions for 1 turn because I had 1 success.
Okay.
Is that impacted at all by my use of presence on her?
It's probably been a while since you used presence on her.
Okay.
So.
And if she's enjoying you, it could make her hate you for saying that even more for this 1 turn.
So she's gonna like run up to Nathan and just slap you across the face and say, "You jerk! Have you been talking behind my back with the boys about things with this? I told you secrets in bed, just like you told me all the secrets in bed. That's what bed is for. Secrets." She slaps you again. Humph.
what kind of secrets? You can tell us secrets about him. He told us secrets about you.
Tatus is like figuring things out real quick. Like, hold on, what secrets do I got here?
I like secrets.
I'm gonna go check in with Frank and see if there's anything going on. You gentlemen, I will see you later. As for you, Nathan, perhaps you can make it up for me later. Humph.
Is she leaving?
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to come with? Or do you have something else you'd like to attend?
I mean, I'm good now to go.
Excellent.
How did we want to handle planting the phones after the fact, correct? Not right now, I would imagine.
Yes. I imagine that, depending on which plan we end up going with, either one of us or one of our hired minions will have the express job of leaving the not quite crushed enough phone in an appropriately located spot.
Would you prefer I hang back and get the text train rolling, or should I accompany as well?
Whatever you would like.
I'll text on the way.
Okay.
All right.
So you're just
Texting
like
myself.
making like texts back and forth, like to make a history on the phones, basically.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
leaving like enough space between them so it's realistic. I'm not just texting right away.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe there's
Mhm.
like a 4-minute gap sometimes a 10-minute.
Sure.
All right.
And
And Nathan is completely ignoring everything that just happened with Candy.
Yep. All right. You will head to Highgate Cemetery. It's a cemetery. You know, it's
Probably got a gate that's fairly tall.
yes. Highgate Cemetery. I'm gonna look up what it looks like because I don't know off the top of my head. It's very cemetery-y, and
It's
apparently
got gravestones and mausoleums and...
it's got some nice like woodsy areas too. So lots of like lots of greenery to the place, and lots of trees and things. Yeah, a nice place to be buried and be dead.
well, we can do one of those things here.
Mhm.
I mean, we could do both, but I'd rather only do one of them.
are you sure you don't want to be buried?
I am.
Mhm. So apparently it's also a nature reserve and a cemetery.
Perfect.
Yep. All right. Thanks, London. Thanks. That's just weird. All right.
It was probably a cemetery before a nature reserve.
Probably yes.
I mean, it was probably natural before it was even a cemetery. Just not reserved for it.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So,
You were arranged to be, let's see here, you're arranged to be meeting the grave of George Eliot. There you go. Or, the person who, or Mary Ann Evans, who is, was known as George Eliot. All right. You'll arrive at the grave, and you'll be kind of left hanging for a little while, but it won't be, like, super long. It'll be, like, 10, 15 minutes, a little later than you're pretty much expecting, when a kind of, a group of 3 cloaked figures will kind of, like, walk down the path and approach you. Which one of you is Nathan?
top hat. Greetings.
So, Nathan, you and your, though you don't get like a good view of his face, you get a feeling that he's definitely like kind of squinting at the group and kind of like looking across you. Which one of your, well, you and your friends are here for some business, I assume. Then, yes.
Yes.
All right. What do you need? Why do you need it? And why should we assist you?
We are looking for additional information on the history of Caine, and have been informed as to the extent and depth of your library, and do not have
We aren't a
similar one
large
of our own.
chantry, but we are an old one. So of course we would have information. But why should we share it with you?
What do you require?
I could easily ask for some kind of favor, but Americans such as yourself are not... I'd rather have you take care of your business and leave my country as soon as possible.
As would I.
Yes. Perhaps there is something you can do for us that's a little easier. I'm sure you've met with the prince in the city here.
Yes.
We have requirements of a meeting. Set it up
A
for
meeting.
us. With the prince.
A meeting with the prince.
One that we shouldn't bring up to him. You see, there have been plenty of problems in the city with the Sabbat, and especially the Assamite anti-tribute. And we had hoped to take a more active role in taking care of them. We have always been shunned to the side. Especially because certain elements have been allowed to flourish in the city that we would have perhaps liked not to have flourished. But beggars can't be choosers. But perhaps a suggestion that our influence might be able to help take care of some of our new prince's Sabbat problems.
You cut out briefly, so I didn't hear the end of that.
Our new prince's Sabbat problems might be
Just
a good
before
reason.
that.
Okay. Just before that. Perhaps someone bring up suggestion that we might be helpful in taking care of the new prince's, well, some of the Sabbat problems that we have, might be a way to get this meeting underway. And especially if you say that you have a contact in the chantry here.
I have no problem with that at all, of course.
That
I
you
would
have
need
access
some...
to our library. Under strict
Excellent.
supervision.
Of course. When shall we arrive?
Contact us once you've completed your task. You can return the number that was on your phone. It's an easy one to return. And we'll arrange.
I don't see this working out so well. How would I suggest that you would be effective at dealing with this Sabbat problem with no previous knowledge of you aside from a brief conversation? I feel it would be most understandable if I had done a bit of research with you, learned a little bit about you, on the face of it, so to speak, and then approach the prince.
Tell him our abilities, our magic, are what helps us. As he kind of holds out his hand, and it becomes wreathed in this kind of reddish flame.
I am aware that you use magic. I don't understand how that would incite me to approach the prince without knowing any of you personally, is my point. If I were to go in and do some research first, meet someone that I could indicate to the prince
This
had
would not help
inspired
you at
me.
all. This would not help you at all. And it sounds like you're trying to get your end of the deal before we get ours, which we do not take kindly to. So here's how it sounds. If you want some kind of inspiration, let them know that we suspect in amongst the Assamite anti-tribute is one of their kind that can use a magic similar to our own. We have suspected this. It is not our thaumaturgy. It is a different type of blood magic. The prince would understand this. And let him know that once you heard those rumors, you thought it...
My first thought was that the Tremere would be the best to
Magic fights magic.
address the situation.
Now, we have an understanding. He's going to turn and leave with the two other figures.
All right. That seems easy enough.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. I guess, are you heading right away to meet with the prince, or are you going to wait till next evening?
I mean, this is 2 hours before dawn, and that meeting took, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
no,
you
we
were
waited
also
10
like
minutes.
15 minutes late, so you're like
Yeah.
an hour and a half
So-
guy, you know?
Okay, well, I guess we can call and see if he's still willing to meet with us, or if they would rather just take the information over the phone.
You could probably arrange a meeting still for tonight. I'll say yeah, sure.
Okay,
Probably the last meeting of the night, so to say.
sure.
All right.
Hey.
Well, Nathan, how good is to see you again, and your friends with you. Yes.
Yes, I would imagine.
Hmm.
Did you guys come with me?
I couldn't remember if
Yeah.
you were all there last time, or I thought you might have split up a little bit or something.
I think
No, we
we're
all met
here.
because we wanted to eat.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
You all did because you wanted to eat. Okay, I had to remember it. Sometimes you guys split up, and I can't remember that.
Yep.
How good it is to see all of you again. I'm apologize that I'm a little rushed here. Businesses. If there's always something going on.
Of course. In fact, that is in fact what brings us here today, is some business that appears to be going on and potentially causing some amount of trouble.
All right, please tell.
We've heard rumors that there are some Assamites in the Sabbat that are using magic.
I was aware of the Sabbat-based Assamites in the city. They're run by a individual known as Coven, Montgomery Coven. He seems, well, an interesting fellow, to say the least. But regardless, you say using a magic. I've heard tale that certain Assamite have certain abilities, but
I am familiar with one myself. However, the magic that was described was somewhat similar to that I've heard coming from the Tremere.
He kind of will like pull out a like a little like notebook he's had, and like as he's trying to remind himself of something. Yes, there were rumors of a few Assamite knowing a type of blood magic, a different people call it Assamite sorcery. These sorcerers are rare as far as I can tell, but dangerous.
Particularly if there is one in your city.
True. Traditionally, as far as I know, they don't go with other one switch. The majority of the anti-tribu are, of course, the traditional Assamites you know of, the assassins. But, interesting.
If my understanding is correct, they are all assassins, just in different ways.
That is unfortunately not always the case. The Assamite clan is a deeper history than a lot of people discuss. They've got a foothold within the Middle East that very few other clans ever gets a hold of. And since they're the only ones there, they don't have to just be assassins. It's just the members you tend to see outside of that area, yes, tend to stick to that. Their skills pertain to it in general.
Excellent. How do you plan to address this situation?
That is a difficult thing to say. Blood magic can be dangerous of any kind.
Agreed. I tend to be very cautious of it myself. And I
Fortunately, we
would
have a
prefer
chance.
not to be
Fortunately,
at
we do
risk.
yes, but fortunately, we do have some resources within the city that might be able to help us. I should perhaps, if these rumors are true that you've ran into, then perhaps I should talk to the Tremere. in their chantry.
Indeed, magic always seems to be the best at combating other magic.
True. Interesting. Well, I'll have to arrange some kind of meeting with them then and discuss
Yes.
what kind of
The
precautions must
Trier
be
have
made.
a particularly old chancery here, do they not?
Yes. Yes, they do. It's
Their
not the
resources.
oldest,
Well, certainly. Their resources in their library would be particularly helpful to some of the research that my associates and I are here for.
but... So effectively you're saying put in a good word with them when I discuss things with you?
Would be greatly appreciated, sir.
Well, you already did promise me something, so a little bit more on the edge would not be a problem. Alright, fine. I can do that. You've been of help to me, and you brought this warning to me.
Of course. Is there anything else you require, Prince?
Currently, no, but I will let you know.
Appreciated. Best wishes for your success in addressing this situation.
Thank you. He'll get back to work. Alright.
Alright, guys, let's go.
Alright. So you can spend the evening, the night, rest up, and then the next day, of course. What are your plans for the day? Other than perhaps just getting in contact with someone?
I mean,
spending our wake-up blood.
I mean, that
spending
is
the
important.
morning refreshing my wake-up blood.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are you doing anything to get Candy back?
Candy will have showed up at some point in time. She's not talking
I'm
to you.
still paying her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She did indicate that that she wanted me to make it up to her.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in particular I need to do for that?
Like, I guess she probably wants like flowers and chocolates or something. You know.
That's a bigger tip.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sure. I'll pick that up and have like a let's see. I'll get her a nice vampire-esque costume.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And have it waiting in a box on the table for when she gets home in the morning.
Yes. All right. Okay. God damn it. So, I guess we'll take care of the problem from the other week then when this occurs. All right, Nathan. Let me figure out what's going to happen now because, hey, thanks previous setup. All right. I have to figure out. Okay, let's.
This isn't gonna be good. It's
No, it's not. No, it's not. And thank you for no, it's not.
I'm hoping that's what those 4 successes were. Oh no, those were to resist going mad. That's right. Oh boy.
No, that was to resist, like, just oppressing humans for the rest of their lives.
Well, yes, which would have had the further effect of potentially causing you to go mad, right?
No. I was just gonna depress them, just with voice.
Okay. All right.
What? There was a
So-
previous roll that I did not do so well on that is causing this.
Yo, okay.
Okay.
I'm going to say you don't have to make the perception roll to notice a disturbance because you will be disturbed and it will be very unpleasant during the day. Make me a humanity roll, difficulty 8, please.
Me?
Yes, Nathan. Yes.
Okay. Where do I find humanity on the dice pools? Or do I just...
might have to... Let me see if you can... I don't know if you can click on humanity to roll.
You
but-
cannot click on humanity.
So just roll however many dice it is.
He has 6.
Okay.
Okay. I got 1, 2, 3, 4.
2.
Oh yeah, we canceled 1. So you got 3. You got 3.
I thought it was 8.
Oh, that's right. It was difficulty 8. So you did 2.
So 2.
Good news. All right. Now I have to calculate some damage you'll be taking before you wake up to respond to it.
Oh boy.
Well,
this will be fun.
Oh, it will be. It will be. It will be very unpleasant. I have to go to... Oh boy.
I literally had a list of like who it would be on, and like the more successes I had, the less dangerous it would be for me and the
For
other
you?
person.
Oh.
For me and the other person. And
Oh,
I only
boy.
had 1 success, and yeah,
All right.
so
Well,
and
this will be interesting.
2 successes would be Dawn, 3 and up would have been Samuel because I am the least threatened by him.
Sure.
Okay.
Straight 0
Alright.
would have been someone like important, and Botch would have been
Like-
the prince himself
Okay.
here.
Okay.
I'm glad you didn't
Um,
botch, and I think I can take this. It's gonna suck.
So... roll me your fortitude and fortitude alone.
Okay, just the, Oh man, I'm really glad I put 2 in fortitude.
Yes. All right. Unfortunately, you rolled no successes. You shall take 3 levels of aggravated damage and wake up
Okay.
to Candy having thrown open the curtains on you.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, that sucks.
Mhm.
Aggravated is the X's, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a beautiful morning, and it was suggested to me when I'm in a good mood about you to get some sunlight in you because you need it. You're such a night owl, Nathan. Oh my god, is everything okay?
So, I'm gonna run the fuck out of the sunlight,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna spend. I still need to spend the 1 blood to wake up, correct?
Not right now, because you made a humanity roll successful to basically force yourself to wake up during the day. You can be awake for 2 turns, and then you will fall asleep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna thump.
Okay. Is there any way to heal aggravated damage?
Yes. Yes, there is.
How do I do that?
It's a lot of blood.
Okay.
Let me get the exact amount for you.
Okay.
Oh, God, you also please make me a willpower roll, if you will.
Okay.
Difficulty?
Yeah.
What difficulty?
We'll say 7. Say 7.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah!
You don't frenzy
Well, that's nice.
from being exposed to sunlight.
Like I said, that's nice.
Good news. Good news.
Okay.
I have to look up which page healing aggravated damage is on now. I had it for Dawn when she took some aggravated, but yep.
By the way, since I had practically pre-prepped this with her getting mad before, I would be sleeping in the trunk, like, with it lined so no sunlight comes in so he can't get to me during the day.
You're just hiding because of this.
Is it readily apparent that it's Erik's fault?
I mean, probably not. Candy did say someone said you would have liked the sun. So, I mean, that's the thing that you heard.
Okay.
Okay. What that actually means is, okay. So, yeah. It'll cost you. You have to rest the rest of the evening, and at the end of, well, technically you're probably going to have to actually rest a full day. So since this is in the middle of the day, or no, this is actually probably in the morning. So I'll give it to you that you could probably spend the day resting up. But at the end of a day, you can spend 5 blood points to cure 1 level of aggravated damage. But you can also spend some of your temporary willpower to heal more. 1 extra aggravated per extra willpower spent. Either that or it'll take you 3 days, 5 blood per day to heal it.
Okay. So, obviously I will spend 5.
Mm-hmm.
Do I spend that at night, or do I spend that...
It's a day of rest.
Okay,
means...
so I'm not spending that yet.
No. And this was, like, right after you probably went to sleep, so that's why it's, like, not...
So, right after she got home, got dressed up in the vampiress costume, and came up to have her fun.
Yeah, when you were asleep. And just basically, like,
Okay, well then...
I knew you sleep so deadly during the day. But,
so,
I mean...
first of all, I'm only up for 2 rounds, right?
Yes, and one of them you spent running into the hallway.
Oh, no. I have celerity. I can spend it doing more than one thing.
Okay.
So I can also use presence.
I'm fine.
And tell her, I have a horrible allergy to sunlight. Whoever suggested that to you is a horrible person, and I need to sleep in the dark. That's my first turn.
Okay.
Using up the 1 blood point to do presence. I need to roll...
1 for celerity too.
No, I can still do 2 things. Run into the hallway.
Oh yeah, you can split your dice pool anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and I need to use dice to run into the hallway?
I mean, probably not. No, you can probably just do that all, we'll say, in one kind of go. So,
you don't have to use celerity at all.
You don't have to use celerity at all. I think you're fine.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Excellent.
If you're just running into the hall and using presence, since moving is part of the action.
Yeah.
There we go. So we'll do that.
Okay. You want to? Are you rolling presence or just using it then? I guess.
I mean, if I need to roll it, I can.
We could just say that you kind of just do your thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my thing. In the second round, can I tell her to, I guess, can I have her close the blinds?
Sure. Oh yeah. She'll close up the blinds again.
Then I'll...
Oh, you poor baby.
Zip back to bed.
He probably didn't know about it. He just suggested to be nice to you, I'm sure. Oh.
Probably so. I'm going back to bed.
Oh, I'll let you rest.
I'll see you tonight. Bring a friend.
Okay. Sure Frank will want to join in. Again.
Sure.
Bring a friend or 3.
Sure. Anyway, so I'm now on top of the covers and passed the fuck out.
Yeah. He's like, thump. Poor baby. Okay.
Alright, so now 5 more points gone. Awesome.
Yep.
And I will drop 1 willpower to remove an extra thing.
Okay. Still have the 1 level of aggravated right now.
Yeah.
So the next night will come.
Woo.
And a certain someone doesn't know about the extent of his success.
Well, when I see some unsightly burn marks,
Oh yeah.
I'll probably have an idea.
Yes. You poor baby.
Mm-hmm. Wait, why are you in my room?
I'm always here.
No, not you, Candy. Erik. You have your own room.
Oh, I was just checking on you. Candy told me there was some commotion.
Yeah, he's got a really bad sun allergy. Did you know that?
You poor baby, I had no idea. I thought you liked the nightlife.
I do like the nightlife.
He
Well,
likes the nightlife a lot.
tell you what, I'll go and find Candy's friends for you, and then I'll make sure that they bring some nice costumes as well.
You're such a great friend. Oh, you're so helpful. See, Nathan, you need to be more like Erik here.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, someone probably wouldn't kiss and tell. Don't think I didn't forget that. You've made up for it, but don't think I haven't forgotten it.
Mm-hmm. Nor have I.
I hop out of Eric's bed and go, or not Eric, sorry, that's me, Nathan's bed, and head down to the red light area and find Mr. Yeezy. And
So, did Candy bring her friends? Because that's what I told her to do.
She hadn't yet. She was waiting for you to wake up before doing anything.
That's probably the best.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, Erik, you find Frank, aka Yeezy. Like, I'm not gonna remember the rest of it. Yeezy number.
Yeezy for show.
Yeezy for show.
number 2
No.
HO.
For show. $sign
Okay.
HO.
Yeah.
Faux show.
Okay.
Yes.
Excuse me, Mr. Yeezy, I assume.
He is the whitest man you have ever seen. May I note here?
Oh, so he looks like any of us.
Yes, but he's got like the most outrageous pimp outfit on. Also, he's got like a purple suit. He's just like kind of like hanging around on like a street corner. He's got like this Cadillac out there in front of it, outside of like this little shop. He stands out greatly, even amongst like the people in this area.
Let's hear your pimp voice then.
Your London pimp voice.
London stereotypical pimp, because that's how he dressed as. There's no way he doesn't talk like it.
I have to like figure London pimp voice. Okay, wow.
That's right, Yeezy. Talk the talk.
For sure. Oh my god. I'd say we'll chat for sure. Oh my god.
Jay, that's bad.
It was just really bad. I started and I'm like, oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna try that as much as I can. It's like, what up? Yo, welcome to my hood. Oh my god. Okay.
I'm sure you know that Candy has been getting paid quite well.
I've been getting all the good monies from you folks.
Yes, well, the main proprietor of Candy has invited yourself and a couple other of your friends.
Unfortunately, I'm busy today, but let me introduce you to ice cream and cake. Them two girls can go with you.
Are they up to Candy standards?
I mean, probably not quite. She had a 5. Damn.
They are the next best things. They will do
right.
very nicely for your
Oh yeah, I took your car too.
But
Well,
not my wallet.
Mm-mm.
well, no, I'm bringing them to you so
Yes.
you can pay them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cake spelled Kake, and ice cream spelled IZEKREEM. Because yes.
Nice.
Okay,
Um,
hop in the back,
Ladies.
ladies.
we got High Roller looking for some good time. No, this is High Roller's friend here, bringing you to the right area. As for you, gentlemen, perhaps I could arrange a nice woman for yourself too.
Sorry, I don't prefer ladies of the night.
Oh, you.
I get by plenty on my own.
Oh, a player is ya? A player. Well, player, you in my town now. So, enjoy your stay. You be good, and you be treated good. Yeezy, for show out. Boys? As like two like thugs kind of get in the back of his like Cadillac as he like hops in the front seat. See you later, girls! And he drives off.
Then I will
Oh my
very casually, trying not to make any conversation, just get them to the house.
They will have a conversation which, if you probably weren't a vampire, and it would probably be the most embarrassing conversation ever, probably. I don't know. Very like, explicit, lady of the night talk, discussing stuff that they were doing the other night.
Could make another whore blush level.
Yes.
I'm gonna like these two. And by like them, I mean drink a lot of them.
I mean, you'll also like them.
Maybe.
Alright, so you'll return
Cool.
with cake and ice cream.
You know, I'm actually going to stop by at the store and actually pick up cake and ice cream.
It's okay.
I don't have a lot of cash, but I can afford that.
Okay. You'll come back with cake, ice cream, and cake and ice cream.
Ice cream.
Alright. We'll just go forward from here. Anyway, Nathan recovers ish.
And enjoy your food orgy.
Oh, I will.
So, Samuel, what are we doing while that's going on?
It's loud, by the way.
Samuel, you're
Not my fault.
You don't even know what's going on, too. It's like Nathan's up in his room, not leaving. Candy's like hanging around. Eric went out to apparently get horns.
Oh no, Candy's with me.
Yeah, Candy's with him. You're not sure what's going on. But Eric just came back with like a bunch of ladies of the night, cake, and ice cream, and sent them up to Nathan.
You're muted. Dunce, you're muted.
Dunce, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there was a cat outside, and my dogs were going crazy about it.
Ah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just sending more incriminating texts. I guess.
He's like sitting there like, I don't know what's going on.
This is fun.
You've created this like entire like relationship going back and
Oh
forth.
yeah,
Mhm.
very dynamic.
Mhm.
Maybe I've even picked up a third burner phone, so it's like three-way conversation. Called myself a few times.
He got the idea
Oh.
for the three-way conversation from what's currently happening.
So
Figured adding another cell phone in the mix would spice it up a bit.
So I want to take. Can I take 3 from the other 2
Sure.
without being too terribly horrible?
Yeah. Definitely.
Like they'll still survive that fairly easily. Just really
yeah.
tired for the next few days.
Yeah, you had a very exhausting session.
I mean, what can I say? My performance is Well, my performance is 2, but still.
Yes.
It's a vampire too.
That's what Benjamin is for. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it's probably getting close to midnight when you emerge. I'm sure by now there has been a message on your phone, basically saying that you can head over to the Tremere Chantry. It's heard from the prince. Good work. Stop by whenever you can. Someone will be there to meet you. Don't keep us waiting.
I mean, guys gotta eat. All right, so you guys ready to go? Do you both want to come with? What colors are you wearing?
It's Tuesday, so
Gray?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm willing to come. No harm.
All right.
They did see all three of you, so they realize you exist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. You will head, probably let's say like uptown London. There's an uptown, I'm sure. I don't know what it would be, and our resident person that might be able to give us information is not here.
It's a nice place.
It's a nice place, and it looks as though it's just like maybe a small building, maybe like something like a club of some kind, like 3 stories, kind of squeezed between some other buildings with like a sign on the front that seems to be remark of like something like a Mason's Club or something.
That makes some sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go up.
This kind of older gentleman, kind of a little like pale, kind of gaunt, will kind of open the door and kind of like look out, kind of like blink a few times. Yes.
Here to see someone who has not yet given me his name. I have an appointment.
Let me check. He'll turn, close the door, come back in like 5 minutes, be holding kind of like a piece of, like, looks like some kind of like piece of paper or something, looking over it. Kind of like looking at you very carefully. Then looking at Samuel very carefully. Not actually carefully, but not nearly as long as Nathan. It's like, and like with this kind of like sneered
The smell
look.
gives him away.
Yeah, kind of a sneered look, looking at Erik. Shaking his head for a moment at Erik. All right, gentlemen, please come inside. He'll lead you inside into like a sitting room and be like, wait here. Someone will be with you shortly.
Thank you.
The first thing you notice about this sitting room is it's a pretty large room, and you are not the only people here. There's a couple of other people that seem to be in here. One of them is they're both kind of like wearing hoods and stuff. One of them is reading some kind of large book, and the other one is kind of sitting near a fireplace and kind of staring at it.
Is there anything interesting happening in the fireplace?
No.
Aside from presumably wood burning?
Yeah, no. Just some wood burning.
How obscured are their faces by the hoods?
The one that's near the fire, you can get a little bit of his face. He kind of has this kind of weird look to it, you'd say, from what you can see. Kind of like almost like reaches a hand out for a bit, kind of winces, and then kind of pulls back and kind of keeps repeating that.
Erik would go to that guy.
Mm-hmm. The other one, you really can't see the face because also he's like kind of turned, hood up and turned away from you, reading the book.
But they both appear to be male.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
you
no
head
one
up to
else.
the guy over by
Yeah.
the fire. Yes.
I assume there's like another chair next to it.
Well, he's kind of standing next to it. So.
Oh yeah. Then yeah, I'd go and stand by him and just start staring in the flames as well.
Okay. There's just something, you know, a little bit mind disturbing about the entire fact of fire right there, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, no, that's kind of my thing.
Yep. So... Alright. Okay.
I'm imagining Samuel sitting there with like a phone out texting, puts it away, pulls out another phone,
it's
starts
uneasy.
texting, puts it away.
It's uneasy is the best way to
Well, they're
describe the fire being near it. But since it's sort of like something that was in the room when you arrived, it wasn't like a sudden, like, you know, it was logically here. It isn't that kind of like, oh my god, fear. But there is just something like gnawing at all of you, and especially you, Erik, as you kind of move up to it. You know, that like gnawing, like utter terror kind of deep within you is what you actually kind of feel to this. The man will kind of notice you, kind of like look up at you, and continue what he's doing.
Erik will half say under his breath, "Isn't it interesting how something so common before now terrifies us beyond belief?"
Terror. Sure. Terror. Power. As he's kind of smile at the flames.
You strike me as someone who might have known. The one who embraced me, I'll say.
Probably not.
Wednesday. Patrice.
He'll not respond, so. Your kind of attempts at conversation continue for a while, but it seems you don't get a lot out of this guy.
I didn't expect to.
His fixation seems more at, like, rather than, like, a healthy respect, and also maybe trying to understand it more. He seems to be, like, almost analyzing it. About 10 minutes will go by, and a young-looking woman will come down, flanked by another woman, a little burly and brawly and a little tall, and a kind of large man. She'll kind of come up towards you. Gentlemen. She'll kind of like look over towards Erik. The three of you are here for some business, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Come with me.
Slowly scoot away, following.
Just follow.
You'll be led to a staircase that will take you down. You'll go down, you're thinking 3 floors, it seems like you pass. And on the 4th basement, you'll be led into a large kind of dark candle-lit room filled with books and all kinds of paperwork. And this room would probably be described as multiple stories in and of itself. You know, it's got like various ladders leading up to places. There are probably a couple of like electric lights, but like very like old looking light bulbs in the ceiling that are providing not really great light. Hence why the candles are like seemingly placed in areas that people tend to go to.
Sure.
Gentlemen, our staff will assist you in your research as necessary. Let us know when you are done. You have the rest of the evening. And then, well, you would have to negotiate for more time with us. She's going to point, Any books over there are off limit to you. Books back there are off limit to you. You are free to use these books, that set of books, and those books, but with one of the assistants present to tell you which ones are appropriate to you. These two folks here will stand guard and be ready to help out if a problem occurs. Know that there are other things around here that will take care of you if you cause a problem. Know that you are a guest here that is a reluctant guest. So if you do anything to insult or annoy any of us, know that we can both kill you or kick you out at will. Know that if we hear complaints from the wonderful people here to assist you about anything you do, we will take that as a complaint about insults to everyone here. Am I understood?
Yes.
Well then, I will leave you to your task, and hopefully we can keep up with a friendly relationship, and maybe, just maybe, you can earn more time here with us in the future. We'll see if you have any kind of, as she kind of like looks over all of you, potential. And she leaves.
Do we spot our mark?
Yes. There are seemingly 4 people here, and one of them is, Christine.
Alright, I would actually go over to her and, excuse me, ma'am, obviously this is my first time within the library.
Don't break anything.
Of course not. I wouldn't.
Also,
Well,
let me
no,
see your
not
hands.
immediately.
She's kind of flip them upside down, so you got your hands like this, kind of like looking them over carefully, kind of like just like scratching it, like not like to like do blood, but just like almost like scrape the bottom of each of your palms. Clean enough. What do you need?
I do wash my hands often, yes. I particularly am looking for history about Tremere and gargoyle relations. Is that
not within
one?
the original purview of your time here? I'm assuming that is a more personal thing that you are looking into as your friends are looking into more business. Well then, there is some generalized information within the sections you have been permitted to know about it. Know that the basic space will tell you the most important things. Gargoyles were created by the Tremere as a gift to them, a life to them, a different kind of life than they wanted. And many of them resisted such gifts. At least nowadays. Unfortunately for them, and unfortunately for us. Ingrates.
It is always such a disappointment when you give a great gift upon someone and they spit in your face, isn't it?
Yes. Now anyway, she's going to kind of pull you over to an area. If you're looking for generalized vampire history, which will include our relationships with the gargoyles in a generalized format, here are the books. Your friends will be looking into this section over here for the basics of their information.
So while she's off having this short conversation with Erik,
Mhm.
I'm going to be like, Samuel, I think that you should not touch any of the books.
Or at least wear gloves.
Perhaps you could politely request the assistance of one of the librarians. That one helping Erik seems particularly helpful.
It might be wise to have at least one of us speak to a separate assistant so it doesn't look like we're specifically targeting this one.
I understand that. I am sure that Erik can find a variety of things on his own, and if he requires her assistance, he is obviously welcome to ask. Perhaps you might find something in common. I'm not sure. I will, of course, be under the direct observation of the two larger ones.
They're just standing by the door, kind of like, watching you guys already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'll go up to a different one.
Okay.
Is there any way to try and like send secret I guess I could just text him.
Make sure no one's looking over your shoulder.
Could we have the Wi-Fi password? Do you have a guest Wi-Fi?
Oh, I've got you.
I would rather not do anything that could be constituted as
The guy who
offensive.
walks up will look at you and go, "No."
Very
You
well.
have to use your infernal machine's data.
I'll
I'm
as
just
she's
looking at
like
the Wi-Fi password.
handing
Just in
me
case.
books and everything, I'm just going to ask her, so you're clearly not one of the kindred, but you have drank our blood. Do you want to be one of us, or is it more of you enjoyed the blood alone, but you want to retain
She'll
your
like kind of
humanity?
shove a book in your face and go, "You're more observant than you seem. Yes, I have a pulse. And no, that's none of your business. I'll be around if you need me." As she kind of just shoves like yet another like 2 books on you, and then like kind of pushes you into like a seat. Nathan, the man, will continue. Samuel, were you approaching a guy?
Well, I was going to wait until
Yeah.
she left Erik
She will.
and approach. And while I'm approaching, I'm probably going to send a quick text to Nathan, just asking for general what should I be looking for exactly.
Find out if she has connections outside, specifically the Tremere. If you can, very vaguely ask about her thoughts of the Anarchs. Perhaps talk about the club.
All right,
I'm going to do a bunch of research on what is available about the Book of Nod.
Okay.
Which I imagine is not much, but probably enough to give me like 1 in academics or occult.
You can effectively learn a few
Eventually.
things. You can learn some stuff about the book. The thing is, if you wanted to actually gain skill, you could learn it here. It would just take time. You're not
Longer.
But
I'm just saying this is a good indicator that I'm starting to spend time learning
Yes.
those things.
And you can pick up some things in the Book of Nod.
Tantus, how many books did she hand me?
10, and you're pretty sure they're all about vampire society basics and history basics. They're like baby's first vampire history, except that probably not everyone knows everything about all this stuff.
Okay, so how many assistants besides her can I get?
There are 4 of them total, including her.
One of them
Okay.
is
One of
helping
them is
me.
currently helping Nathan, and Samuel's heading over towards her. So there's 2 others that are sort of standing around.
Okay.
One of them quickly, as like the others get started, walks off to do some other kind of work.
I would actually be like, excuse me, can you and if the large men at the door wouldn't mind, I need 10 hands.
Large man is not moving. The one that walked off is not responding, and he'll say, "I will be
that's
sufficient to what everything you need. If you need anything else, tough."
Alright, this will take longer than I had hoped then, but it'll work. I set out 4 of the books, like whatever one seemed the earliest, and flip them all to the first page. And I'm activating the Auspex to increase my sight. And at the same time, I'm using... Well, I'm about to, but I'm going to tell her, just flip the pages when I do. You get those books, I'll get these books. And I'm using Eyes of Chaos at the same time to try to get any information about the staff I can while flipping through all 4 of these books. Perception Occult, and for hidden missives and stuff like that, it's 6 difficulty. Wow, I got nothing. And at least it wasn't a bot.
Yeah, it
It
canceled.
wasn't a botch. No, good news.
I have time.
Yeah.
It'll work eventually.
Okay. All right. Samuel, you'll walk over to her.
As I'm approaching, would I be able to basically like look her over for standout details that might tie? Like, would I be able to roll?
She's kind of got
anything,
like simple
insight
robes
type
on.
thing?
She does have a hood, but the hood is down. Short, kind of brown hair, like shortish brown hair. It's like up in a ponytail, but it only kind of goes down to like neck length ponytail. She wears a small pair of glasses, kind of like a squirrely nerdy girl, I would say. Hard to get like a full look of her because she has like the heavy kind of like I would say kind of like almost a little bit like cross between a wizard's and a monk's robes kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I apologize. Special rules for you. You're restricted to that area.
What area? Is it like a...
The area that like Eric's currently in.
Okay. Fair. That's fair enough. Could I possibly...
Your kind are big on information, and you don't have full trust with us.
That is understandable.
Have her hold stuff and read for you, and make sure that everything you read is approved. That way, it gives you a reason to keep talking to her.
Yeah, I'm probably like you know. Would it be possible that you read the information to me? That way, I don't pick up on anything you would rather I didn't.
She's kind of like pause for a second, slow turn and look at you and be like, "No, I have work to do, and you apparently have some yourself. Better get to it."
Well, maybe we can help each other. Maybe I can help you with whatever work you have to be done.
She'll kind of like slow turn back again and be like, "No."
Man, she is stonewalling
I don't
us.
think she likes me very much.
You are a Nosferatu with very grubby hands.
Mm,
She doesn't like any of you, so I mean,
yeah.
Well, I mean, for him, it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Could you point me in the direction of perhaps books regarding the Anarchs, perhaps the local Anarchs? They do pertain to some of our business.
Why would you want to know about them? And why would you think a library would have information about them? Well, let's just stick with that one. That's a fine question. I don't want to know why you would know. Why would a library in a Tremere Chantry have information about a group which is younger than us and is something that we don't normally deal with?
It's important to have information on your enemies, which is exactly why I'm looking for said information.
A library would not be a place for such things.
A library that is typically meant to serve the Camarilla would.
It's not meant to serve the Camarilla here. It's meant to serve the Tremere. You are just nice enough that you've been granted access to us, even if all temporarily.
That's fair enough. Well, if you don't have that information, I guess that's fair enough. I will head to my section.
Just let me know when I'm done with those 4 books.
Well, what I'm going to say here is why don't we leave it here, because we are hitting at 6 o'clock time, and we do have to end pretty strictly at 6 o'clock today, as you're doing research and trying to figure stuff out, and trying to get more information out of Christine, who...
A straight up bitch.
Well, no, you get the feeling it's less that she's straight up rich and more like she doesn't want you in her library kind of thing. She's probably in charge around here, and you're kind of like unnecessary invaders. You're not Tremere, and you're totally just random guests. most times a Tremere wouldn't need an armed escort. You guys do, because you're not trusted.
That's true.
Uh-huh. Anyway, so, thank you, everyone. This was a pretty interesting one. They're definitely working towards stealing that staff, and maybe stealing a Christine. And you got yourselves a plan. So we'll see how well you can pull it off.
Yeah.
Next week. Why don't we give some shout outs of information about yourselves and things like that, where people can find you, things like that. Carpe?
I am the CarpeDM. You can find me at the CarpeDM on Twitter. Occasionally at the CarpeDM on Twitch. And I've been eagerly awaiting the next release for Warframe, which has been awesome. Also, Pokemon Go keeps releasing stuff. It makes me do it.
Yes. Yes, it does. Dunce.
Hey, it's your boy, Dunce. All social media is at Dunce, believe it or not. And kind of mostly just join other people's stuff for the most part, usually.
Tiv.
Hi, I'm pretty much Tavalic everywhere. That's about it.
Okay.
Gonna be playing in Winter's game later.
Yes. In 2 hours, both me and Tiv are going to be in Winter Bear's game over at Winter Bear Games. So, on Twitch, here. So, we're going to be role-playing Modified Stars Without Numbers. We're, doing a heist. It'll be fun. As for myself, though, I'm Tantus Dracovin. You can find me here daily. I'll be back tomorrow morning for RimWorld Wednesday, probably. I have no idea the schedule for it, because my schedule tomorrow is going to be weird. I don't know fully yet. So, check out my Discord and Twitter for more announcements. But, normal schedule back on Thursday of around noon for streaming games, and we'll be back next week for Legacies of Caine at around... Are we still 3 o'clock next week?
Yep.
Okay, still 3 o'clock next week. 3 o'clock for a short period of time, and still. And then... Next Thursday, though, should be the return of Madness of the Land, which has Tiv here. So that'll be awesome.
Woo!
D&D will return. And I think that's it for now. So, thank you everyone who joined us. If I forgot any announcements or anything, check out my Discord, Twitter, links below and all that stuff, because it's got everything else. And my memory's awful today. If you haven't noticed our schedule, it's been a crazy day. So, anyway... Thanks. Hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll, of course, all see you here next week? Yes, next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bless you.